Hello. I'm here to help you set up and give your haunted house tour. On side 2 of this record, you'll find a very scary story, all complete with music and sound effects. This story was created for you to play while you take your friends through your haunted house. It's a great way to make your tour seem more real, scarier, and a lot more fun. There is a complete explanation in your haunted house party guide, so it will help you learn what to do if you follow the guide as I go through all the step-by-step directions. Everything that is supposed to happen on the tour happens on the record. For example, when you start a friend on the tour, you're supposed to take them through a door. So this happens on the record too. The young man in the story pushes open a very creaky old door. The sound of the creaking door will make your door seem like a big old door to a haunted house. Before you get close to the big day of your tour, you should listen to the record many times to learn exactly where all the scary things should happen. Now, before we continue, remember that everything I say here is also in your party guide, so don't forget to refer to it. There are even drawings that show you exactly how to set up and make all the things you will need for the tour. The first thing you should do is decide which room in your home you will use to turn into the haunted house. A family room, den, bedroom, or even a garage are fine, but the room shouldn't be too big, and it should have a door that leads into the room. Now, for the haunted house. There are 6 scary places on your tour, and I will go through each one of them now so you will understand exactly how to set them up. Remember, each step of the tour is in your party guide. The storyteller on the other side of this record is supposed to be a head in a box. It's easy to make him, too. Just take a cardboard box about 2 feet by 3 feet in size. Choose one that still has flap-type lids on it that you can open and close. Now, line the inside of the box with aluminum foil. At the back end of the box, cut out a hole just big enough to slip the head of a flashlight through. Then, open up a paper clip into a hook and tape it to the top of one of the masks that you get in the kit. Punch the open end of the clip through the top of the box. This will suspend the mask in the middle of the box. Now, when you open the flaps at the beginning and end of the tour, all your friends will be able to see is the weird face staring right at them from deep within the box. Before we go on, remember your tour through the haunted house is for fun. We don't want anyone getting too scared, so don't make anyone do anything they really don't want to do. And secondly, each person who goes through your haunted house will be blindfolded. So as you lead them through, be sure to hold onto their hand. When someone is blindfolded, their balance is not as good. When you give your tour, you may take one person at a time, or you can take several. If you take a group of people, however, you may need someone to help you. Now, to begin your tour, the very first thing you do is turn on the flashlight inside the box with a face in it. Start the record, then take your victim up to the box and open up the flaps so that they can stand in front of the face and listen to the storyteller begin his scary tale. When the voice says, "It all began many, many years ago," put a blindfold on your victim and tell him that his visit to your haunted house is about to begin. Take them by the hand and lead them slowly to scary place number 1. This is supposed to be a doorway with cobwebs hanging from the top. So, you should cut 10 or 20 pieces of thread about 36 inches long and tape them to the top of the doorway leading into your haunted house. Now, listening to the record, lead them to the door. It should be partly open. Let them feel the door and with your other hand, slowly push it open. When the voice says, "I took a step in," begin to walk into the room, making sure your victim walks through the cobweb of threads. Now, take your time and walk your victim into the room. Make several turns here and there so that it seems like you're going a long way. It will make your victim think it is a very large house. Now, lead him to scary place number 2. Here you will have a large jar containing a bunch of grapes and filled about 3/4 full with warm water. The top of the jar should be big enough to get your hand in and out easily. When the voice says, "I reached into the jar," you should take your victim's hand and place it partway into the jar and tell him to reach in. The victim will probably think the grapes are something really awful, like eyeballs. For scary place number 3, you'll need some cooked spaghetti. Let it cool and place it in a bowl. Just before the tour, pour a little warm water over it. Then be ready with the spaghetti, because as soon as the victim takes his hand out of the jar of grapes, the voice will say, "Then he put something in my hand that was slimy and wet." Here is where you put a handful of spaghetti into your victim's hand. Watch the look on their face as they try to figure out what they are holding. Now, lead your victim slowly around in several directions for a few moments. For scary place number 4, have an old jacket wrapped around a pillow on the floor. When the voice says, "As I turned and ran down the stairs, I tripped over something," make sure that your victim is walking in the right direction so that he will bump into the pillow on the floor. Have him reach down and feel what he has bumped into. When he discovers a body, it'll really be scary. Scary place number 5 is supposed to be a bucket with a beating heart inside. To make the heart, take a balloon and fill it half full of warm water. Then coat it with a thin layer of Vaseline and place it on the bottom of the bucket. Now put a 2-inch layer of flour and water mixed together around the balloon. When you are getting close to the bucket on the tour, you should be hearing the loud heartbeats on the record. Lead your victim around slowly so that he hits the bucket with his foot. This way, he will think that he's discovered something by accident, and the surprise will be better. Now, have him feel the bucket, then tell him to reach inside. You should be holding the opposite end of the balloon and squeezing it in time with a heartbeat on the record. When your victim feels the balloon, it should feel as though it is really beating. Remember, keep in time with the beat of the heart on the record. At this point, you're ready for scary place number 6. You can use the same pillow wrapped in a jacket that you used before. As you walk your victim around the room, you will hear the voice say, "I turned and ran into a huge being of some kind." That's when you lead your victim right into the pillow. With a jacket on the pillow, he will think that it's really some huge monster. Now that all your scary places are used up, keep the blindfold on your victim and lead him out of the room, back through the cobweb of threads where you started the tour. Place him in front of the mask in the box again and remove his blindfold, and let him stand there while the voice on the record finishes the story. When the story is over, you're ready to start all over with a new victim. If you listen to these instructions carefully, learn all the steps, and rehearse your tour several times, and at the same time refer to the tour section of your party guide, your tour will run smoothly and keep in time with the story on the record. This way it will seem very real and very scary for all your friends, and it will be really exciting for everyone, including you. So have fun.